Growing up, I always thought of church as the place Mom made me go to every Sunday, where strange, unknown old ladies would tell me how much I'd grown or how pretty I had gotten, and then Mom would make me go downstairs with a bunch of really weird kids that I didn't really know. Long story short, I never really wanted to go to church unless it was for something fun, like the Easter service filled with light and color, or the child-friendly vacation Bible school over the summer. At that point, my faith was weak, and I don't think it was really my own so much as my mom's. I only really had one friend in the church, looking at you, Jenna Lillian, and we didn't even get along that well, nor did we really like each other for that matter. Little did I know that would all flip upside down the second I was accepted into the youth group in 6th grade. I joined New Spirit Singers and made great new friends, and somehow, Jenna and I became best friends. So much so that our biology teacher told our parents that we're basically attached at the hip. Before I knew it, I had become fully integrated into the church. I had a friend in every person in the youth group. I started looking forward to Sundays. In 7th grade, Miles started a new program called Youth Deacons, which would later evolve into peer ministers. In this program, I became friends with the high schoolers and got to grow more in my faith, pulling from what they believed. But this program gifted me with so much more than just friends in faith. I also got to improve my relationship with my brother Jason. In our younger years, we didn't have the best relationship. He was always saying exactly the right things to make me cry, and I was always responding by throwing things at him to make him stop, including but not limited to stuffed animals, marbles, and glasses of milk. But somehow, in the graces of God, we began to get along, starting around the time peer ministers started. And now, I'm proud to call him not only my brother, but also one of my best friends. And I thank both God and this church for that every day. Anyways, in 8th grade, I joined confirmation and got to grow closer to my then 9-person grade, and better yet, to God. Confirmation is when I really started to understand my faith and delve deeper into it. I even learned how cool some adults can be. Some. Who knew, right? My confirmation mentors, Cheryl Johnson and Aaron Weekly, really helped me to define my faith and answer any and all of my questions as best they could, and I couldn't be more grateful. At that point in my life, everything was good. Life had no stress, and I had plenty of time for everything and everyone I loved. And then high school rolled around, and all my extracurriculars built up, and somewhere along the way, I lost God a little bit. Sure, I came to church every now and then, but I stopped prioritizing Him and spent more time focusing my efforts elsewhere. I got turned off my path, just slightly. I didn't make the time for Him like I used to. That is, until mission trip. Each summer, I would join in on the fun and craziness that is M&M. The isolation pretty much forced us into a closer relationship with God and with each other. Like when we had 9 girls sleeping in 8 beds in a cabin built for 6 in Atlanta last year, we had no choice but to grow closer than ever before, learn more about each other, and accept each other's flaws and quirks. And every single one of us happily let it happen. With every trip, I grew closer to the students and to the adults, be it little Donna, Kathy Burdett, Donna here, or my own beautiful mother, Wendy Core. I learned more from those lovely ladies about the love of God and about being a good Christian woman in just a week of hard work than I could in, let's say 4 years of high school. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 through 10 reads, "Two are better than one, because they have a return for their good labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up." Grace Covenant has always been there to pick me up anytime I fell, and trust me, I fell a lot, both metaphorically and physically. And it's because of your acceptance of me that we could build relationships with each other, and through those relationships, I could forge a stronger relationship with God than ever before. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17 tells us, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." The congregation of this church has sharpened me into a fine young lady, And as my relationship with each and every one of you grows stronger, so too do we learn from one another, even if we don't realize it. Each of you accepting me here, even when I showed up sweaty and gross from volleyball, encouraged me to engage in this church and become as active as I am today, which in turn guided me deeper into my faith journey and helped me to connect with God on a much deeper, more personal level. So thank you to every single one of you for letting me come as I am every single time.
Hello. I'm Sarah. Yes, I am the Sarah from Leanne Stowe's Facebook page. You might have seen me singing in Exaltation or maybe playing my clarinet in service. Or if you've been here a while, you might have complimented me once when I was 5 saying that you thought my dress was pretty, and I might have responded with a, I know. Oh, how things change, right? But really, a lot of things have changed just in my 18 years here on this beautiful earth. But besides my family, there has been one solid safety net: God and GCPC. The theme of today's service is very close to my heart. To illustrate the importance of come as you are, I have to start at the beginning of my story. Now, I'm about to do something unprecedented. I'm going to tell you all my birth story. So get comfortable, because here we go. I was born in 1997 to 2 loving parents. My parents met in college, and after being together for 13 years, they decided they wanted a child. I credit my existence to my moms, as well as an anonymous sperm donor and the miracles of modern medicine. Moms, plural. Yep, that is 2 moms. Most of you probably know this, but if you need a moment to process, go ahead, but you will be missing the next part of my sermon. So, the whole 2 moms thing wasn't typical in Kansas in 1997, and after going through the difficult process of getting pregnant with me, my parents could only find one doctor that could guarantee safety and respect for my moms and I, and this doctor was in Missouri. And so my story started there. Although I came into this world as just another child of God, a pure little black-haired baby, I had already been affected by the inability of society to accept my family. Yeah, so a birth story isn't typically a topic of a senior sermon, but I am not a typical 18-year-old high school senior. But here's the amazing thing. Although my family and I are not typical, there has always been a place for us at God's table. Fast forward, I'm 5 and my little brother Sam is 2. Sup, Sam? I strut into GCPC holding hands with my moms. They take me to Sunday school where Julie Hubble greets us, accepting us as we were. And no questions asked, I was left to have a great time with some stuffed animals, and my moms went to service. We had found the one, a church that welcomed our family. From then on, I had my church behind me. I had always been a proud gaby, a baby of gay people. But no matter what adversity I would face, I knew that God would be there and that Grace Covenant would be there. I will always remember a freezing cold day in February 2014. My mom signed me out of school and we drove to our state capital. At the time, there was a bill up for vote. The basic idea was to allow business owners to exercise their religious right to refuse service to LGBT people. Now, we pulled up to the Capitol and we were met by Pastor Jonas. He was working his rainbow stole, and there was also 20 other awesome Grace Covenant peeps. Society was judging a group and discriminating, and our church fought that hate with love. The bill was not passed, by the way. 16-year-old me was pictured on the front page of the Lawrence Journal World that day. I had a rainbow sticker on my cheek. And I think I've always kind of had that rainbow sticker on my cheek, figuratively. Like many Christians, I too sang the lyrics. Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. But in this time of hateful rhetoric and polarized politics, it seems like some of us may have forgotten these words. But I am hopeful for the future. I have strong faith in God, but GCPC has also built my faith in humanity. Because of the love in this church, I was able to have the experiences that all the other lovely youth get to have. I have some great memories of music makers. They had some great snacks. I experienced the hilarity that is canoe tipping. I further understand my privilege because of mission trips spent in the inner city of Chicago, in the mountains of Colorado, and of course our favorite, God's Farm. I have witnessed amazing sights like the National Cathedral and the rolling hills of Montreat, North Carolina. I have formed strong bonds with people around the country through church camps, and even stronger bonds with the people here sitting right in the youth section. The first book of Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7 says, "People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Members of Grace Covenant, thank you for seeing me, as my heart. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Good morning, everybody. For the ones that don't know me, I'm Sofia, and I'm an exchange student this year. So I'm not being part of this church for a long time because of that. But I really tried to get involved as much as I could, so to make good memories when I would be back. And of course, when I get involved in the church, I found many differences from what I was used to, because I was in Italy. I'm in the Roman Catholic Church. So you see, it's completely different from like the Presbyterian, like also the service and the things you do, they're different. And so when I came here, I had to start learning about these new things and meet new people. And so it was an hard time, it was a tough time, because I was the different one. I was the one that wasn't used to the things, and I had to catch up them and get used to them as you were. And so I didn't deny my personality, but I had to learn from the others and enrich mine with other people's stories and habits and backgrounds. So that's a very important thing I learned from coming here, because when you start learning from others and not judging them, you really grow. You don't change yourself, you just open your mind and see how the others can be different, but this difference can help you, but also help the whole society, because as the gospel we read said, the body has got many different parts, but each part made the body work. So even if every one of us is different, we all make the body work. So I learned that I need to see the qualities that every person has got, even if different. So, and make it work all together to make something better. And I didn't see just like Americans, like traditions and habits, but I also met other exchange students, thanks to my company, that also enlarged my view about the world, that I consider it like that they really enrich my life now, because I don't have my little world, and like I'm not concentrated just about myself, but about the whole. And so I want to thank everybody here and everybody in the church, because they gave me this possibility to enjoy this time and learn, and being so nice to accept my difference and not judging me for that, but trying to understand my difficulties and trying to help me when I wasn't able to do things, or when I had a hard time doing them. And being so kind and so nice to always have their doors open for me. And especially my host family, the Amarines, because they really have been an important part of my experience, And I feel so lucky that I met person like them that open their house to me and their lives and accepting me for what I was. And I just feel so lucky that I'm here, I'm in this community, because I could have been assigned to so many other families, and instead I just got fortunate and came here. And so I would really like to thank also the youth leader and youth director, because they make my Sundays and my experience with church so much beautiful. And every time on Sundays, I was happy to come here, even if it was different, because there were people that I had friends in, and we could talk and we could share. Like, for example, in Sunday school, we always shared our thoughts and experiences. And so I would just like to thank all of you for accepting me and being so nice with me.
Ever since I was in 6th grade, I've been mentally planning for what I was going to say in my senior sermon. This week, however, when faced with actually writing it, I realized I had absolutely nothing. So I figured I would start off talking about one of my favorite passages in the Bible, the one we read this morning, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 12 through 18. We've all read it, or we've all heard it, but it emphasizes that we all have different spiritual gifts and uses a metaphor of the body to convey this point. Therefore, I'm going to talk about one of the most important parts of the body, the eyebrow. Bear with me, I will explain. In the words of the famous YouTube comedian Jenna Marbles, eyebrows are the prime real estate on your face. They are the Beverly Hills of your face. Now, you may be wondering where the heck I'm going with this. Quoting an often vulgar comedian is not exactly standard senior sermon procedure. However, I feel like all my life, I figuratively wanted to be an eyebrow. Throughout elementary school, I was the girl in class who knew all the answers but didn't raise her hand. And I was the girl who sat alone on the playground because she was too afraid to socialize with people. I thought I was not as cool as the other girls in my grade because I didn't like the same things as them. I was quiet, and I knew they didn't like me either. It seems like every day I wished I was an eyebrow, or that I was more popular, well-liked, and accepted. It got to the point where I changed my style to fit in, started to buy clothes from Aeropostale and Hollister, as that was what everybody was wearing in the 2000s. I wanted to change myself. When I got into 6th grade, I had absolutely no idea who I was. I was completely caught up in my image and how I wanted people to perceive me. Then, youth group and New Spirit Singers happened. I still remember to this day my very first game of Romans and Christians. It just so happened to be my luck that I was the Roman Christian, my first time playing it. I was awkward, I didn't know what I was doing, and I screwed up the game and gave a very easy victory to the Romans. But you know what was so great about it was that it didn't matter. I was expecting people to be mad, I was expecting people to be upset that I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know what was going on. But everyone was so encouraging and accepting of me for who I truly was that I was able to brush it off easily. I thought I was going to be labeled as that weird girl because that was what I was used to. But I wasn't labeled as that. I was able to be my awkward 6th grade self, and people were fine. That first year in youth group opened so many doors for me. My confidence grew, and I realized slowly, bit by bit, that being different is okay. It's fine to not be liked by everyone. I recognized that the church and our community in Christ was greater than any labels that could be put on us. I started to love myself for who God made me to be. One other factor of the youth program that helped me realize my value as a person was the Peer Minister program, designed to equip high schoolers with the skills they need to help their peers going through hard times. I found that my peers felt comfortable sharing with me as my soft composure offered a welcoming and safe environment. Whereas when I was younger, I viewed soft-spoken nature as a weakness, as shyness, I realized through this program that it was a strength. My confidence increased as I realized that this shyness was simply an outward manifestation of my inner qualities of compassion, understanding, and humility that were very effective in this type of ministry. Girls at school thought I was weak, but I knew I was strong. Psalm 139, verse 13 says, "I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, my soul knows it well." God creates each of us to be who we are meant to be. I wish I had realized when I was younger that I was beautifully different, that my uniqueness as a person was what made me strong and a servant of God, not that weird girl. Because I was made to be shy, I am able to connect with my peers in times of need. GCPC's youth program is what gave me the ability to overcome my belief that I had to be just like the popular girls, that labels would always define me, and that my shyness was a weakness. GCPC taught me to truly come as I am, fearfully and wonderfully made, and I am forever thankful for that. I know finding and learning to love yourself is incredibly difficult, and I still have moments of self-doubt. It is easy to get swept up in the notion of fitting in and letting your actions be influenced by other people. So don't try to be someone you're not, and don't underestimate your strengths to be weaknesses. You are all fantastically made for a specific purpose by God, and you all have different gifts. Come as you are, whether that's an eyebrow, an ear, or even a toenail. Thank you.